one of the 2 3-year-olds in the race for slot holder John Singleton. He won the Singo. That was probably the biggest win of his career. He won the 3-year-old Nutrien final. He's had 11 starts for 6 wins, $115,000 in prize money. Trainer driver David Moran himself, no stranger to Group 1s, 19 as a driver, 7 as a trainer, most of those with superstar Lochinvar Art. He's a $31 chance here, in from $61, Captain Hammerhead.
Very, very new to this level. In fact, he's raced nothing like this level. The Singo, which he won to get into this race, I mark about 4 to 6 lengths below this, maybe even more. Barrier 1 sounds good, but at the 2,400 metre start, everybody who drives at Menangle regularly tells you it's not much good to you. I doubt he has the gate speed to be an early factor. I see him at best being 3 back on the inside, maybe 4 back on the inside. And in the history of 3 and 4-year-old combined races, there haven't been many, but in the short history of them, the 3-year-olds have yet to be actually a danger to the 4-year-olds, because it's so pronounced, the difference, even more so now with the changing of the Australian seasons. I don't think he can win. I think he'll be back in 12 months' time.
Numbers 2 and 3, the emergencies are a scratching. That's number 4 on your screen, the Lost Storm for slot holders tab, the second of the 3-year-olds. He was the winner of the 2-year-old Breeders' Crown and also the Vic Bred Series. He won the Queensland Derby in dazzling fashion 2 starts ago. He's had 13 starts for 11 wins, $250,000 in prize money. As I mentioned, trainers Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, 114 Group 1s as a partnership. They know what it's all about, big-time racing. Mark Pitt as well has partnered this horse in all of his starts, and he's a live chance.
On his way to becoming a superstar, but, and it's a big but, he's only had 4 starts as a 3-year-old, none of them in strong races. So he's won a Queensland Derby, but it wasn't a strong derby. He's so X-factored. Maybe he'll be a chance here, but I just don't think he's had the right prep and enough rock and roll with the big boys to get over top of the 2 favourites. Very good horse. He's my favourite for the Eureka next year.
Number 5 is In Cypher, the 4-year-old mare in the race, the lone lady against the boys, and this one for Aaron Bain Racing was a late pick, a winner of 4 Group 1s, including the Victoria Oaks and also the Breeders' Crown. 26 starts for 16 wins, $584,000 in prize money, again for trainer Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin. Driver Luke McCarthy goes on. That's an important booking. He's a winner of 76 Group 1s. He knows what it's all about. She's a drifter in the market, $23 out to $41.
Had shown no indication she had any chance in this race ever until her last start. She beat Rock and Roll Do, who came out and just won the Len Smith Mile in her first open class start at Melton. She beat many of the best open class established horses in the country. She is the only horse in this race, apart from Leap to Fame and Catch a Wave, who has beaten the best open class horses. Therefore, she has to be in your first 4, and therefore, because she has proven it to us, she has to be the best place bet of the remainder outside the 2 favourites.
Number 6 is Speak the Truth, and this one, a 4-year-old for Racing Queensland, won the Hayden qualifier, named after the great cricketer Matthew Hayden. That was certainly its biggest career win to date. That on top of the Queensland Sun. He's had 20 starts for 12 wins, $308,000 in prize money. Trainer Shannon Price has won 6 Group 1s. What a big moment this is for her. Driver Adam Sanderson, just the 1 Group 1. What a massive moment for him. And this one, Speak the Truth, $21 out to $41, number 6.
Good, tough pacer, but we can take a really easy punting line through Leap to Fame. Every time he's raced him, he's been beaten easily. His average losing margin to Leap to Fame is 12 metres. 12 metres behind Leap to Fame might be good enough for 3rd or 4th here, but it won't be good enough to win.
Number 7 is Magician for Taz Racing, the 4-year-old. Won the Bow Tide, which of course was the qualifying race for that state, and that was certainly the biggest win on top of the Taz Raider Stakes. Now, this is the first run on the mainland for Magician, has trialled here. 19 starts for 11 wins, $167,000 in prize money. Trainer Todd Rattray has won 1 Group 1. That was with Ignatius, who got to Grand Circuit level. He's still searching for his first Group 1, even though this isn't Group 1 status. This would certainly feel like a Group 1.
The only line we can take through this horse is Oh Mickey. Oh Mickey came here for the Singo and finished 8th. He came here tonight, was beaten in a significantly weaker race. The Tasmanian form has occasionally, through Bowtide and Ignatius, stacked up over the last 10 years, but predominantly they take runs at Menangle to get used to this. His Tasmanian form is between 8 to 12 lengths below this class of horse. So no, I can't be with him as much as I do love the fact there's a Tasmanian in the race.
Number 8 is Rip. Doug Hewitt for Bernie Hewitt for slot holder Wayne Loader, winner of 2 Group 1s. And second in the Victoria Derby, most importantly behind Leap to Fame. 26 starts for 8 wins, $216,000 in prize money. Bernie Hewitt has won 9 Group 1s in his career. Driver Doug Hewitt has won 2 Group 1s. They were both with Rip. He loves this horse. This is his horse. He's 100 to 1 chance. It's a throw at the stumps, but stranger things have happened.
I think they're smart enough to know what to do here, and that's duck for cover, hope for a hot tempo, and pull out at the 400 and take their chances. They're not going to overdrive him. He's a horse who will like the distance. He ran second to Leap to Fame in the Victoria Derby. He is a horse who could run 3rd or 4th without surprising anybody. A win would be a surprise.
Number 11 is Captain Ravishing, a 4-year-old for Team Zav. Danny and Joe Savastanos has already had success here tonight with Tintern Joe, who won a Group 2 feature earlier tonight. This horse was a winner of the Breeders' Crown as a 3-year-old in absolutely breathtaking fashion. Have a look at the replay. You'll rarely see a better win. He's had 15 starts for 9 wins, $307,000 in prize money. Again, for trainers Stuart Tonkin. For Ahmed Tabor, I should say, formerly with Stuart Tonkin. Ahmed Tabor back in the big time with this horse, and driver Greg Sugars with 56 Group 1s to his name. He knows all about this sort of racing. $16 out to $18, Michael.
Wickedly fast, but horror preparation. Hasn't raced for 6 months. Name a horse anywhere in Australasia in the last 10 years who isn't called Winks, who you would back fresh up in this grade of race after not racing for 6 months. It's too tough an ask. They've had their issues with him. He is still not the furnished product. I went to the stabling area, looked at him behind the gear. He's still quite weak through the back. He's going to need more time to show us just how good he is. I don't think this is his race, but I'm not putting aside the fact that one day he could beat Leap to Fame again, as he did in a Victorian Derby heat 11 months ago.
Number 12 is Catch a Wave, and this one for Cordina Farms. They got in relatively early as far as their slot was concerned. A winner of 4 Group 1s, including some of the biggest on offer here at Menangle, being the Miracle Mile and also the Chariots of Fire. Catch a Wave has had 24 starts for 19 wins, $1.1 million in prize money, which makes him the richest horse in this race. Trainer Andy Gath is in the Hall of Fame. He's won 56 Group 1s himself. His wife, Kate, 53 Group 1s. And, wow, this horse has got to be a big chance, Michael. $4 out to $4.60.
Magnificent horse. Could win tonight. I think there's 2 major winning chances in the race, and the gap between him and Leap to Fame is not as big as people think, and I think the gap to the remainder of them is far bigger than the gap between them. He will go forward. He may not go forward to lead immediately, but Kate will try and make the first 800 metres as painless as possible. She'll try and fill his lungs up again and then go. If he leads, Leap to Fame is going to need to be very, very special to sit parked outside him. Unfortunately for them, he may well be very, very special. I think there's somewhere between a long neck and a length between these 2 horses over 2,400 metres, but by no means will I be stunned if Catch a Wave beats Leap to Fame.
You're now looking on your screen the horse many are saying is the best in the world right now. Number 13, Leap to Fame, a 4-year-old for slot holders and owners, Kevin and Kay Seymour, who have put so much into the sport. A winner of 6 Group 1s, including 3 derbies as a 3-year-old. A Black's a Fake, which was just absolutely a breathtaking run in finishing second there, and also the Sunshine Sprint in winning in his first try at Open Company. 30 starts for 23 wins. He's just just shy of the $1 million mark at $987,000. Grant Dixon has won 23 Group 1s as a trainer, 20 Group 1s as a driver. He says this is the best horse he's ever had. He may be the best horse that we've seen. We'll learn a lot more over the next 12 months. He's $1.75 into $1.60.
I'm not getting carried away as some other people are with the horse. He's got a long, long way to go to prove to me he's in the top 25 paces I've seen. But he's heading in the right direction. He is a wonderful stayer. If Grant Dixon had dreamed or dared to dream of a race with $2.1 million, if it had to be outside Queensland, it'd be here. Menangle, 2,400 metres from a mobile, a chance for the son of Bettor's Delight to turn it into a staying contest. What he wouldn't have wanted, Ryan, in that dream was to draw outside Catch a Wave. He may not have held him at the start, but he could have worked him over now. He may look to be neutral for the first 600, head forward, get outside the leader. The question is, does Catch a Wave cop any early pressure, and will the lead be there? I think that answer is no, and therefore, if you're taking your $1.60, or now $1.75, no, it's not $1.60, sorry, you may be asking him to sit parked outside the Miracle Mile champion.
Number 14 is My Ultimate Ronnie, wrapping up the field for Soho Standardbreds. A place getter 3 times at Group 1 level, 2 times behind Leap to Fame. 29 starts for 16 wins, $284,000 in prize money. Trainer Jared Alchin has won 5 Group 1s. Driver Cameron Hart, 10 Group 1s, including 2 Inter Dominions and 2 Blacks Are Fake. He's a $100 chance.
I said to Cameron, any chance you roll the dice and just charge forward? He said, no, that would be stupid. I'm not going to be doing that. They'll go back, they'll look to get their money late in the piece with a very brave horse in My Ultimate Ronnie. I go 13, 12, 5 and 4 in the richest harness race on earth. Ryan Phelan, what are your numbers?
I'm with Leap to Fame and very confidently that the superstar will get it done. I think Encipher's a terrific value chance as far as your exotics are concerned. I've gone 13 Leap to Fame, 5 Encipher, 4 The Lost Storm and 12 Catch a Wave. Anthony Manton, before we go to Brittany Graham, what's happened with the market?
Leap to Fame, $1.65. He just touched to $1.65 as we get down to the last few minutes of betting, and that percentage is down to as low as it's been all through the market. Catch a Wave did touch $4.80, now $4.60. And then we've got the Lost Storm, $6, Captain Ravishing, $15. Captain Hammerhead's the worst result, $34. So Leap to Fame, $1.65. That looks like the best price you'll get.
Brittany Graham, 18 months for the Tab Eureka. It's now 2 minutes, and over to you.
Thanks very much, Ryan. All of these horses look impeccable and they're all on certainly their best behaviour, including this guy, Leap to Fame. Granny looks wonderful, alert but relaxed. Could you have him any better?
Oh, look, Brittany, me and Trish, I think we've got him right. Yeah, I hope everything that we've done's going to come together, and yeah, well, I'll give him his shot.
How did he deal with retention? We know it's different for these horses, but he seems the right sort of horse.
Look, we were happy with him. He ate well, drank good, and yeah, he had Tim's Trooper there with him. I think that helped a lot.
Good luck, Grant.
Thank you.
Grant Dixon there. We appreciate all of these drivers giving us their time so close before a big race. Captain Ravishing on his toes. Catch a Wave had a moment of concern probably prior to coming to the attendant who's now walking around with him, and he's certainly been a lot better since then. Here's the 3-year-old, the Lost Storm. Gosh, I think he looks better than the last time that I saw him, Mark. He looks impeccable. He looks so bright. His first look at Menangle tonight, how was he in the warm-up?
Yeah, look, he was super in the warm-up. You know, he felt really strong, and, you know, he's really alert.
Nobody's considered the situation that you could want to lead this race. Has that come into your mind?
Yeah, look, it has, you know, but we're just going to have to see how much pressure we actually cop, because it is 2,400, so, you know, we don't want to be burning too hard early and not have nothing left for the finish.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark Pitt there. We're going to clear the track now and give these horses all the room that they need before their biggest test to date. Here's Catch a Wave coming behind me now. And Captain Ravishing, as I've just said, he's really on his toes, this guy. He's fresh. I see a few horses with different gear on tonight. He's one of them. He has the sliding blinds on. We know in some trials and workouts leading to this race, he had a Murphy blind on. That didn't work. He's got the sliding blinds on tonight. He's getting a little sweaty and hot. He's very bright here, fresh under lights. And Catch a Wave, all eyes on him. He's got the attendant with him, Kate Gass, doing her best, but he has been circling here for a while, guys. I might send it back to you for a last-minute market update before this great race.
Thank you, Brittany. Yes, we're on start time, and shortly we'll be going to Fred Hastings. A quick check of the market before we do go to Fred, and we see that Leap to Fame is the $1.70 favourite, just out from $1.50. $4.40 now in from $4.60 is Catch a Wave. $5.50 out to $6 the Lost Storm. Now the rest over double figures. So where's the money tracking there? $34 into $23. Captain Hammerhead has met with support. Captain Ravishing has gone the other way. $16 out to $23. In Cypher, out to as much as $41, now into $26, and the rest upwards of $41.
Ryan, very interesting there from Grant Dixon. The whip was out, and still is, out the side of the cart. Now that's an indication to the horse, we're not here to muck around. And also an indication to me, he may not be as neutral as he's indicated to the media this week with this horse. So I'm expecting potential fireworks early. The barrier draws at the 2400 metres suit the horses wider, and I think Grant is going to stay as close as possible to Catch a Wave here.
The inaugural running of the Tab Eureka, the world's richest harness race, is upon us. Fred Hastings with the call.
Thank you, Ryan. They're getting set. It's the moment we've waited for. 18 months or more in the making, and it all gets down to this. Mobile comes towards the 2400 release. Stand by. Light goes green, they're off in the Eureka and getting away well towards the middle of the line. Here was Captain Ravishing showing speed in the middle, and it's going to take up the front running early doors. In the second spot up on the outside now, nice and handy to them was Catch a Wave. Captain Hammerhead and the Lost Storm are next and caught a little bit deep there as they approach that turn there was Speak the Truth. Getting past it was In Cypher. Further back in the race then as they worked their way off the back straight, caught a little bit deep there was Leap to Fame, now slotting in over Magician. And as they work their way towards the side of the track there, last of all as they come down towards the turn into the lane with 1800 left to go is My Ultimate Ronnie, and there's one stuck out there in no man's land at the moment trying to slot in as they work their way towards the entrance to the lane now, and taking up the front running is Catch a Wave. It'll play from the front, comes into the straight leading the way. They've got a bit over a round to go. Captain Ravishing is second. Leap to Fame, Captain Hammerhead is on the inside, three back. The Lost Storm gets 1-1 cover. They were followed by Magician back against the pegs. Further back in the field then as they come down the straight was In Cypher. Speak the Truth back on the inside, My Ultimate Ronnie, and back with it as its New South Wales compatriot Rip as they head down to the straight now. 55.5 was the lead time as they work their way towards the bottom turn, and the leader is Catch a Wave, takes them towards the 1200 metre mark in front. Captain Ravishing stalks second, and Leap to Fame's doing all the bullock work on the outside, but he's tough as teak and he sits there parked. The Lost Storm, the 3-year-old, gets a good run and covers up the other 3-year-old in the race, and that's Captain Hammerhead. Next the mare In Cypher, followed by Magician, Speak the Truth. Well back My Ultimate Ronnie, and Rip sees them all as they run down the back. First quarter of the last mile was 29.5, 8.50 left to go in the inaugural Eureka, and the leader is Catch a Wave. 3 metres in front of Leap to Fame, covered up on the inside and having a real good run as Captain Ravishing. The Lost Storm 1-1. Then came Captain Hammerhead. They're about to up the ante. In Cypher is next. They were followed by Magician. It's got a long way back, followed by Speak the Truth, My Ultimate Ronnie, and at the cages, Rippers last of all. 28-1 the split, 57.6 the half, and as they come towards the home corner, they're about to run for the money. They're about to run for the glory. It's Catch a Wave, the leader, ahead in front of Leap to Fame, getting out after it. On the inside, Captain Ravishing all dressed up, nowhere to go. And then came the Lost Storm. Ed Cypher's putting in a claim. The mare, she's coming quickly as Leap to Fame quickly goes to Catch a Wave. Here comes the mare. And Cypher down the outside. The mighty mare's out after Leap to Fame. And Cypher goes up, puts the nose in front, comes away. A famous victory, and Cypher beats Leap to Fame. Third, Captain Ravishing. Fourth, home in the race. Getting home late was Magician, a good run. And then came Speak the Truth, My Ultimate Ronnie, the Lost Storm, Captain Hammerhead, Catch a Wave, and Rip was at the tail of the field. 27 the quarter. They've got home in around 53.5, and that is going to be a very, very fast win. 151.8 over the 2400 metres. It's just outside the overall world record, but that will be a record for a mare, I do fancy, at 151.8. And Cypher and Luke McCarthy, a local victory of sorts for Luke winning the race as a New South Welshman. But what about Anne Cypher, trained for the race by Emma Stewart? She was the only mare in the race, and what a performance. Sat back on the outside, Luke had her in a gun spot, produced her at the right time, and despite doing all the bullock work, Leap to Fame has just come short. It's run second. Third goes to Captain Ravishing as the interims go up 5, 13, 11, and we wait for fourth. 246.7 the overall, 151.8. 29.5, 28.1, 26.5, 27.1. You've witnessed history, ladies and gentlemen, not only the inaugural running of the Eureka, but a mare, the only one in the race, has blown them away to win it in one of the fastest times we've seen for a mare over this 2,400 metres. Came with a withering burst to win it. We're still waiting on the fourth number. Interim numbers are 5, 13, 11. The judge poring over the image to try and sort out fourth. We won't hold it any longer. At this stage, we'll take it to Britt Graham. Britt, what a performance by the mare. Luke McCarthy, we know how good he is around here, and he has just written himself as we get the fourth number, number 7, into the record books.
Wow, what a race, and a cheer from the crowd as well when the 7 goes up as Magician for fourth. But she's done it, the mare, the girl. She's taken it to the boys and she's beaten them. What a race. So much to unpack. A 151 mile rate for the 2,400 metres, 26.5 down the side, 27.1 home. She has absolutely blown the clock apart, this girl. And what about this man, Luke McCarthy? There's not much in this sport that he hasn't won, but Luke, you've rewritten history again. The first Tab Eureka driver, L. McCarthy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany, and just a huge thrill. Trying to catch my breath, actually. Thanks to Aaron Bain and some Bloodstock for, entrusting me in the drive, and Emma and Clayton. Emma and Clayton really confident with this mare, and said she'd run a terrific race, and she did.
You know Leap to Fame so well, but she just chimed in. They've gone 26.5 third quarter, 27.1 on the way home, and she's run past what many are already considering as a champion. We've undersold her, and she's really stood up tonight.
Yeah, she was fantastic. I just sort of stepped her out of the gate a little bit. I just wanted to get a few of them wider ones behind me. Didn't want to be any worse than third over, and yeah, it just worked out fantastic, and she hit the line really good.
So many of your feature races you've prepared, but tonight you've stepped into the bike for the first time on this mare. It must be a different feeling, but what about the feeling tonight with this crowd? You love harness racing as much as I do. This is special.
Oh, yeah, amazing, and full credit to Harness Racing Australia and the industry for promoting the sport so well and getting a crowd here like this tonight. And like I said, it's always a pleasure to drive good horses, and I've had a lot of luck with Clayton and Emma, and it was good to get another big one.
Well done, Luke.
Thanks, Britt.
Luke McCarthy there, Ryan, taking out the inaugural edition of the Tab Eureka with Encipher. So much to digest. I'm going to jump up and see if we can have a chat to Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin. They'll be elated. Back to you.
What a moment it is for all involved, Brittany. Thank you for that insight. Luke McCarthy, the driver on your screen, has tasted the greatest of successes on this track 3 times in the Miracle Mile with the champion King of Swing. I dare say this will be just a memorable moment for him. He rarely drives for Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin to get on a big race like this, Michael, and really to just give that horse every possible chance. We spoke about it, the 2 horses that were strongest over 2,400 Quinella the race.
Well, if there was to be an apt winner of the richest harness race in the world run at Menangle, it would be Luke McCarthy. This has been his track. These days he doesn't drive as much as he used to. His biggest previous race win for this stable was Carla's Pixel in a Ladyship Mile. But that was a cool drive, and it's hard to work out at Menangle how quick they're going. But the horse inside him has been enormously brave because they've gone a 151 mile rate for the 2,400 metres. So he just waited and relaxed and unleashed, and this is one stable who can bring horses to Menangle and win with them because they are so fit. Over the last 10 years, you can make a very strong case in a country full of outstanding horse people like Chris Alford and the late great Gavin Lang that Luke McCarthy has been the best driver. And that's no insult to Greg Sugars or to Gary Hall Jr. And you can make a case that Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, who's a huge part of the operation, have been the best Australian trainers over the last 10 years. This was a race which summed up two very different forms, driving and training of greatness, and wrapped them into one horse, and her name was Encipher.
And she now goes in excess of $1.5 million in prize money with that big injection there of the Tab Eureka. It's not a Group 1, so they don't get to 115 Group 1s, Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, but this will certainly feel every inch the biggest race of their career. What a moment it was for them. There were 5 Victorians in the race, 2 horses they had in the race, the Lost Storm and also Encipher, the lone mare in the race, so the girl beats the boys. And what a moment for Aaron Bain Racing as well. It was the last slot available, or pretty much the last slot available, where they picked Encipher, so patience was a virtue.
And she beat Rock and Roll Do, our Len Smith Mile winner, just 2 weeks ago at Melton. The first real indication she could win a race like this. For those who are keeping score of the details, by Captain Treacherous, champion US horse, the new kid on the block in the stallion ranks, and the sire of so many wonderful horses, bred by, or now owned by the breeder. So we love to see someone who puts their money on the deck as a breeder own a horse through to a race like this. She's been back to South Australia on 3 different occasions to remain unbeaten in 5 starts at Globe Derby because of that South Australian connection, and she's had to come around most of the good horses in the field to beat them. Leap to Fame clear the run of the race, sitting parked, and great to see Captain Ravishing back to something like what we hope he is going to be. Catch a Wave tonight, the 2,400 metres beyond his reach. And once again, Ryan, we have seen the 3-year-olds in the mixed 3- and 4-year-old races finding it a bridge too far and 12 months too near.
Yes, but the mare's having a very good strike rate in these sort of conditions. Well, I mean, Ladies in Red won the Rising Sun, and Amazing Dream also.
So of our mixed 3- and 4-year-old races, the girls on top.
Absolutely, and they so often are as far as trainers and drivers these days are concerned as well. It's the most inclusive sport you'll find at the elite level, you would argue. So those numbers official on 5, 13, 11 and 7. So ponder this. It's in Sydney's backyard here at Menangle, but we've got Encipher, Victoria, Leap to Fame, Queensland, Captain Ravishing, Victoria, and Magician, Tasmania.
And well done to Team Rattray and Todd coming here from Tasmania to drive Magician. Exceeded my expectations into 4th all the way from that Tasmanian form. Outstanding for them. So much from the others to talk about over the course of the next week or so as we work out who heads forward to the Victoria Cup, and will in fact Encipher even be there back in her home state. But Captain Ravishing will now have maybe welcomed back some of the fan club. Some of the fan club will say, hey, he's still got it. And I still think, Ryan, Leap to Fame might still be the best horse in Australasia. But you know what? He's 1 Eureka short of Encipher.
What an incredible run it was, though. His status continues to grow, as does his purse. That second placing tonight of Leap to Fame officially taking him over the $1 million mark. $400,000 in prize money. Jumps in for running second, and that now takes him over that $1 million threshold, which he'll then take into, hopefully, the Victoria Cup next month, where we'll see the likes of Leap to Fame, Rock and Roll Do, who knows, might end up in that Victoria Cup. The one thing we do know, the way it's shaping at the moment, it will be one of the best we've seen in recent memory. There's Luke McCarthy with his lovely daughters enjoying a special moment, a very rich moment for him. And Emma Stewart, she actually broke her 100 Group 1s on this track here at Menangle, and she's just continuing to add to her status along with Part and Clayton with what they're able to achieve in this sport. Quite incredible. Let's join Cassie Fay, who's with special guests.
Oh my goodness, well I am here with the 3 happiest guys on track. Jamie, first of all, starting with you, we've got Aaron, Jake as well. Just how can you describe that to me in one word?
Wake hyphenated up.
You boys have done a huge job for this Tab Eureka. You tried your best to get the likes of Charles Oliveira here. That almost came through. Regardless of that, this has been a sensational night because there is a sensational crowd here. You boys have put blood, sweat and tears into this race behind the scenes. So I can just imagine how you're feeling right now, Aaron.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. When we set out for this, we had big plans. They didn't come together. We've been through a lot. There's been plenty of sleepless nights. There's been plenty of stress going into this, and these two boys either side of me, like we've done it together, and to win the world's richest harness race, and for our state, South Australia, this mare's bred and owned in South Australia, and that's what it was about to us. And to the Linky family, to Emma and Clayton, there's no better people to share this with. It's outstanding for our business.
So the Linky family, they bred and own this horse. Obviously, Emma and Clayton, as you touched on. So it was a Victorian trainer, South Australian owner, and you've come here and you've taken the New South Wales money. Well done.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like Aaron said, it's been a real SA horse for us, and that was part of our focus with our slot. So, to come here with a Linky family who have given so much to harness racing, and to win it with them is probably more special.
Now, you've taken on the best race in the world, the most richest race. 68 countries this is currently being beamed through to. The Americans are talking about it. I know you have a huge interest in America. You've got plenty of horses over there as well. They're talking about us right now up there in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, we're coming. We are coming. That's about it. Yeah, we're heading over to Lexington in a couple of weeks' time. We'll be there on force. Yeah, we can't wait. Take on the world.
Now, you chose the only mare in the race. Was that part of the game plan, part of the brief, to try and draw favourably in what was going to be always a tough race?
Yeah, it was, and as much like the mare added intrigue to the race. You know, she deserved her spot when she won the free-for-all against the boys a couple of weeks ago, and the form behind Rock and Roll Do held up tonight, but then also to get Luke aboard as well. We spoke about Emma and Clayton, but Luke, he's one of the best in the world, and you saw it tonight. He just lifted her up the straight, and Leap to Fame's arguably probably the best in the world, one of the best in the world, and the mare's run her down, which is just unbelievable.
Well, so Leap to Fame had to do it tough out in the death seat. You guys had a beautiful trip. You were 3 back on the running line with a lap to go. When you saw that with a lap, what were you thinking, Jake?
Yeah, look, we were happy, but obviously the dangers were still ahead of us, so we had to do a mighty job to win, and for her to be able to pick them up like she did on the bend, she was travelling, and we thought, well, we might be a chance here, and for her to let down like she did was just incredible. So
now, I asked you at the start to say one word, and you said wake-up. We're all awake, we're all watching, and I hear that maybe you might be headed up to the bar and you might have a special treat for a few punters.
We certainly do. We'll make an announcement very shortly.
Oh, you couldn't give me the word on it. Well, thank you very much, Jamie, Aaron and Jake. They've just taken out the world's richest harness race, the Tab Eureka, with their mare Encipher.
Thank you very much, Cassie. And yes, wonderful insight. It bears repeating. And whilst I certainly acknowledged before that Encipher, yes, it's Victorian trained, as the team correctly pointed out, this really has a South Australian basis to it. This win of Encipher, winner of the South Australia Oaks, she's South Australian owned, so obviously very special as far as the interstate flavour is concerned of the Tab Eureka in the inaugural running.
And it's been an incredibly tough last decade for South Australian harness racing. There's no hiding from that. They don't have a lot of highlight carnivals, and they don't have the same profile they had 20 or 30 years ago when the Justice family and the Sugars family were based there. So well done to the Linkies. I don't know them, but you have just bred and owned the horse who's won the richest harness race in the world, and she's still only 4. Here she is, 3 back on the outside. Now, Catch a Wave is in trouble, and Leap to Fame is the name of that trouble because he has boarded up him and undone him. And here, he is the horse to beat, but he is left a brave sitting duck. And there's one driver you don't want aiming for your sitting duck at Menangle Ryan Phelan, and that is Luke McCarthy. He timed this to a nicety. She was fit enough to get the job done. Captain Ravishing very brave in third, but a huge gap back to the remainder. Many of the other stories of the race, we'll have to go talk to the drivers. We'll try and work out, talking to the trainers, what they made of it, what it means for derbies and Victoria Cups and Inter Dominions. But the winner, clearly the star of the show, the second horse for mine, clearly the best horse in the race on that performance.
And Sperrithor for Grant Dixon, the anticipation that's been building into this race with Leap to Fame, the red-hot favourite, and he's gone down so gallantly in running second. Yeah, here he is behind us. He's can't dwell on it. He's got to think about the next race here, which Tim's a trooper.
That was the problem with the $1.60, was you were probably going to have to sit parked. And having to sit parked not only leaves you vulnerable to the leader, but to that exact scenario. And he said it on the radio this week, if I break the leader, if I take the dynamic speed out of his legs, I'm worried about who may come off my back to beat me. The answer to that question was Encipher. What a race, what an interstate connectivity we've got going on there, Ryan. It lived up to the hype, and Encipher becomes the first harness horse in history to win a $2 million plus race.
It sure did live up to the hype. That was the Tab Eureka. Now it's going to be the Bottle Mark Stockade, which is effectively the consolation of the big one here tonight in front of a 10,000 strong crowd, and that's next on our Sky Thoroughbred Central coverage.